make it very clear to which angle actually the gaps are or is. Yeah, because at the beginning when reading yours, my assumption is that you are going to do something related to students' cognitive achievement related to their English proficiency or English proficiency. Yeah, because you present to, to, TOEIC, yeah, students' TOEIC scores. Why do you think that you should start with this TOEIC? Because you're related to teachers' conception of teaching. Why should be the TOEIC score? It is very specific for me. I don't know. Okay, would you please give any specific reason?
Okay, actually in Polytechnic Negeri Medan there will be 2 times. TOEIC will be administered 2 times. The first one is in the first semester, and the second one is before they graduate. So I took the score is TOEIC exit, which is for before they graduate. So for me, the score of TOEIC exit itself describe the student's competency, the alumnus competency of English. I think that's why I present the data here, because that shows the outcome of teaching and learning in English classroom in Polytechnic Negeri Medan. That's my assumption at the first time.
Oh, that's it, yeah?
Yes,
not a portray of real situation on the basis of your preliminary observation of a teacher's conception about it. Why didn't you ask someone? I mean that the subject to be related to his or her conception about all the things that you say that this is related to the process, teaching process, the content, and so on. Because it is actually what you touches here. That is why why should be TOEIC the scores? What is actually the relationship to this one? This is a very competency, proficiency rather than to the teacher's conception. All right, you need to reconsider that this one, yeah?
Yes, sir, thank you.
Okay. Right. And then to the research problems. Yeah, Prof. Sumarsi also has actually asked about it. I just would like to suggest you to make it parallel, yeah, the questions, rather than what conception of teaching do the English teachers have in, and so on and so on. I would like you to reconsider the question is what teaching conception or what conception of teaching is perceived by teachers. And then the second one, how is the concept of teaching realized? And then the third one, why are they realized as the ways they are, or why is it realized as the way it is, for example? Yeah, and the sub questions of the research problem number 1, A, B, C should be also need to be reorganized on the basis of these passive constructions, yeah, rather than active construction. Okay. And then, yeah, after again listening and reading your multi-case studies with 10, yeah, candidates as the subjects, I didn't see it very specifically in your scope of the study, but here you write the focus of the study, yeah, page 6. Okay, focus. rather than scope of the study. All right. If you really would like to do that as what you stated as the case study with different 10 characteristics of the subject. Okay, I move to this one first. Just would like to make it clear. Yeah, you need to clarify it. Are you sure that you are going to see all these characteristics, including age, gender, or sex?
Sex.
Yeah. If gender, again, later, your multi-case, as Prof. Sumar say, very complicated. Yeah. Education, working experience, born and grow up. Are you going to describe later all things about it? And then you need to compare all those various 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, each within these multi cases. Or you just would like to see whatever you don't care about, except you just would like to say that to be the subject, at least 3 years of teaching experiences. It means that you didn't want to compare and contrast between the teaching experiences. Or are you going to do that one? Are you going to compare and contrast, because it is multi-case studies, the teaching experiences? If the teaching experiences is belajar until belajar, meaning the teacher's conception model is something like this, the process, the content is like that, and then the relationship, the interaction with the student is like that. And then if it is in the middle, for example, from 10 to 15, like this, and then 63 like me, almost 40 years, berarti ya udah hampir 40 tahun ini ngajarnya. Yang jadi about 10 years, and then 20 years, and then 30 years experiences. Are you going to compare those things?
Yeah, I think I will say, but I don't know.
Good. Are you sure? All right. If you say that one, that is
I
why
will
you
reconsider it. So if it is too hard, I will reconsider.
Okay, meaning that you need to state that in your focus of the study, the limitation. Okay, you need to divide related to the teaching experiences 3 categories. Yeah, from 3 to 10, for example, from 11 to 20, from 20 above, or from 3 to 15, I don't know. And then you need also a kind of theory to make these categories. Because from 3 years until 63 itu ya seperti saya lah, usianya udah hampir 40 tahun ngajarnya, 38 tahun, 40 tahun. Jadi dibagilah dari 3 ke 37, range-nya itu kan cukup panjang, 34 jadi dibagi 3. Tapi perlu juga teori. Yang kategori milenial, kategori yang generasi menengah, dan generasi old, adalah itu silakan, atau mau jadi 4. Itu satu. Terus gender tadi memang mau discuss juga tentang male and female. Problemnya tadi kata Prof. juga, are you sure that the number of them not 50, yang perempuan lebih banyak daripada yang laki-laki, mungkin ya. Seks tadi itu kan ada male female ya. Jadi banyak female kan itu kan. Four male and 6 female. Okay, nggak apa-apa. Jadi if you would like to do that one. The next one, are you really would like also to elaborate, to compare and contrast the teacher educational background also?
Nggak pernah nengok itu yang reading
apa sih kalau mau dokter ini kayak post dokter, umurnya juga aja. Terus kelahirannya lagi, kalau orang Pangkalan Berandap kayak gini case-nya, kalau orang Semarang dan dokter di Medan ini case-nya seperti ini. terpapar semua di tabel ini ya. Itu. And that meaning that if you would like to do it, you need to reconsider that one. Please show it, state it very clearly in the focus of the study or the scope of the study ya, page 6 and 7. Oke, Winda? Ya, saya suka-suka aja. Saya senang kalau kita jadi ini pasti very trending ini nanti hasilnya.
Saya nggak tamat-tamat.
Nah, itu dia tadi. Tinggal 12 months to go ya. 12 months or 18 months.
Mungkin perlu
dijelaskan
specify
ya.
Scope and limitation.
Ya, simplify aja lah yang perlu. Jadi yang nggak perlu tampak di sana nggak usah ditampakkan. Itu nanti jadi pertanyaan yang bertubi-tubi nanti ya. Oke, jadi research question tadi, research problem itu ya of course need also related to the objective ya, disesuaikan. Ya, oke. Dan ya saya juga setuju ini sekali lagi. Kayaknya ini very limited reference ini relevant study di sini ya. Jangan-jangan memang orang nggak banyak meneliti tentang cognitive ability. Karena ini cuma si ini yang the 5 last year ya.
Ada judulnya gitu ya.
Harusnya di 5 tahun terakhir. Ternyata di sini ada yang 2000 sekian, 2014, 2013. Atau cuma 3 atau cuma 3 ini yang selebihnya 2008, 2007. Nah,
ini memang sudah harus dipersiapkan
ini ya, silakan nanti dipertimbangkan ini lagi. Memang nggak dapat atau gimana, atau terminologinya apa yang mereka pakai nggak tahu saya nanti ya, rather than teacher's conception or maybe teacher's perception, maybe something like that ya. Retail what cognitive domain or whatever related to that one ya. Coba dipikirkan, mungkin bisa ke sana mungkin ya. Conceptual frameworknya itu tadi case study, multi case studies banyak apa aja, tapi di sini cuma perspektif ya, cuma sepertiga, tapi that is good. At least you have to that you actually eager to finish your studies ya, after a long sleep kayak Sleeping Beauty kena tertidur terus gitu ya kan. Oke, perlu dipertimbangkan lagi. Ya. Nah, related to teacher's conception of student cognitive capabilities, is it from the score of the students that you will gain from the teacher?
Yes, so actually, I just now say that the teacher must know the student's cognitive capabilities and also the student's motivation, and then the teacher, how the teacher conceptions to adjust untuk menyesuaikan the method and the materials to the student's motivation and cognitive capabilities. Jadi the adjusting, the teacher's adjustment, choosing or implementing the content of the teaching and the process of teaching.
Ya, itu kan sana. Tapi itu tadi ya, teacher's conception of student cognitive capabilities itu how actually is going to obtain the data ya. What sort of data will be reflected.
Kalau matching ini kan
by
bisa
the third one.
matching word with picture.
Kalau yang teacher's content approach of
Itu ada
teaching,
matching
ya
word with
jelas.
description.
Teacher's content itu juga ada jelas sekali. Tapi yang problem scope ini ya student cognitive ini bagaimana? Ada motivationnya, ada capabilities, meaning that you need to ask the
kayak gini jelas
also
banget nih. Kalau saya ada
related to
nomornya.
his or her.
Jadi nomor berapa nggak tahu.
Muridnya kan banyak ini ya. Bisa.
Yes.
Ya itu makanya pakai multi cases ya. Nah, jangan-jangan nanti yang diminta udahlah dilimit bahwasanya yang harus dimasukkan direflected from variable free from your conceptual framework ini. Itu maksudnya ya perwakilan satu kelas aja lah dari gurunya atau kan kalau dosen atau guru bisa melihatnya secara holistik. Saya ngajar 10 kelas secara holistik kayaknya hampir sama, mereka tuh bla 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 bla. Nah, jadi nanti dikasih tahu apakah ini case-nya memang benar-benar kasusnya itu multi atau case-nya ini tadi case-nya getting the information good. Nah, motivation ini lagi various ya. Seperti apa nanti gurunya itu mengetahui motivation. Jangan-jangan nanti harus ada additional or secondary data lagi diminta dari dosennya. Motivasi anak-anaknya gimana secara umum gitu belajar. Kan ini learning English semua ya, untuk different department. Ya, itu yang perlu di scope study-nya tadi tuh. Nah, di sini kan saya lihat ini ada teaching experience-nya di berbagai macam department, ya, dan educational background juga. So you need to reconsider that one, so that to make you easy later ya to collect the data and then also to analyze them. Karena kalau di sini saya benar-benar multi case benar ini, tapi saya pikir apa bisa ya dalam saya ada berapa tahun dulu. Ya, karena yang mau saya pertimbangkan kan pakainya si analisisnya Saldana, Saldana, data condensation. Apanya yang mau di condensation? Saya coba menantang aja ya, tapi didiskusikan nanti nih. Prof. Berlin ini kan sama sama dari Malang. Kebetulan yang promotor saya juga beliau kenal benar. Coba pakai dengan ini snowballing. Jadi ada proposition nanti. Oh ternyata kalau yang tahun sekian tuh kayak gini nanti apanya pola modelnya. Proposisikan lagi. Kalau yang tahun sekian segini, seperti ini. Jadi satu rated ya. Kalau yang data condensation saya nggak tahu apa yang mau di-condense nanti karena ini multi case masalahnya. Too many things that you need. Apa yang mau di-condense? Gitu, ya, kan? Kalau istilah mereka yang lakukan di-reduce apa yang mau di-reduce. Tapi kita pakai condense. Apa yang mau di-condense? Jangan semuanya memang ter-condense. That is why I just a kind of snowballing barangkali. But it is only my suggestion ya. It is not a must that you need to reconsider that one. Ya. Dan kalau multi case tadi itu bagaimana menganalisisnya tadi ya dengan table yang luar biasa cukup ada saya kira tahu aja lah ada sekian orang udah pokoknya rentang mengajarnya itu sekian tahun sampai sekian tahun udah nggak usah cerita lah mereka ini pada dasarnya adalah boleh ada yang S2 akhirnya kan S2 English Department English Department semua ini latar belakangnya kan S2 S3 nya ya kan karena ada yang masih S2 jadi nggak usah dipertimbangkan apakah ada dari USU dari mana nanti jadi problem lagi nanti multi case-nya. Oh kalau alumni dari USU seperti ini jadi seperti konsep sebenarnya karena mereka asalnya memang nggak pernah jadi dengan pedagogical knowledge-nya mereka hanya content knowledge aja
biasanya di
nah, kan, ya itu tadi saya katakan saya senang menunggu ini sebenarnya tapi ini Winda sekian tahun apa bisa ya kecap ini masih
kalau misalnya kamu mau tunjukkan itu
okay, very challenging very interesting actually tapi masih terbatas dengan relevant studies enggak banyak dapat ya kalau yang mungkin si guys itu ya biasa itu Prof. Berlin selalu menggunakan itu karena memang itulah nanti ya multi dia memang kesana oke Winda the last but not least referensinya mohon itu sudah terlalu lama banyak tidur itu kan ya jurnal itu kan harusnya di italic ya kalau yang referensinya jurnal kan harus italic I know you cuma dimati udahlah itu bilang
tapi di sini instrumennya
apa
bukan
dengan ngajar dengan baby dengan husband dengan hal yang akademik yang paling sederhana terlupakan alright I think that's all from me Winda hopefully that you can grasp the ideas yeah and then hopefully that you can work it not more than 1 year ya kalau bisa nggak tahu lah I have
not a choice only 1 year
okay Yeah,
ya.
make
Jadi
it.
kalau kamu
Okay.
mengumpulkan data ini,
Thank you very much. Thank you, Prof. Aprit.
Yes, you're welcome. Yes,
jadi kamu deteksi nggak gitu kan?
Okay, now it's my turn as the reviewers. Winda is already audible, yeah?
Oke lah, nggak apa-apa. Ini coba kamu perbaiki aja nih, jangan seperti ini. Kalau misalnya di data collection
If
technique
you
itu bukan
understand
manusia, jadi nggak bisa
what
aktif
is
nih.
really a model,
Oke.
in other words, how do you define model?
Model, sir.
I mean, in common sense, you don't need to read that one then. Just you mean by model.
Yeah. In the common sense, model is like a pattern or systems.
Is it a guide or for doing something or what?
Prediction. I think this is the system to predict the
A teaching model, what does it mean then?
teaching model is the guide steps or guidance. If it is teaching model.
Okay, it's a guide for teachers to act activities in teaching step. Okay, so in other words,
Yes, that's
normally a model is the way how or procedures can also be a procedures by which you follow to realize or to make a product then. So the end is a product, things like that one then. Now, when I read your conceptual, conceptual framework, that's on page, what page is that one then? I think that page on 46, yeah, your new conceptual, particularly the figure, the diagram that you put it in there. What's really you have is you just want to see realizations of the teacher conception in the actual practice in the classroom. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what is really in the mind of the teachers about his understanding of process of teachings, what the teacher's understanding of the contents of the material, and also his understanding or her understanding of the student capabilities and motivations in his mind, and then he tries to realize that one then in the actual activities in the classroom. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Now, that makes me puzzled because it's very individual anyway. It's very individual. Because to me, it's much more better if you just have realizations of teacher conceptions rather than realization model. You don't need to force yourself to build up a model if it is not a model anyway. Okay, but that's again you need to discuss with your promoter. So the essence is there. I agree with all your with your descriptions of theory or whatever. But the fundamental thing is model is something that act as a guide for someone, and this can be universally done then. But something that you have in your mind and see how it is realized, that's related to angels, if you like that. So it's pretty hard to understand because that's very, very, individual one. Because I will have different things there. Okay, so that means that different teachers will have different model. So, Anda tidak perlu memaksakan diri membuat realization model. Cukup realization of teacher conceptions in the classroom rather than having a model. And that's very basics in your proposal. Okay? Because when you say model so and so for teaching so and so, it's a guide, it's sort of procedures that you need to follow. But things in the minds of the teachers will have different realizations then. So rather than having a model, because you cannot force someone to make up his or her own ways of thinking, because this is in the conceptions. But when it's come to the procedures, ya, secara kita tidak bisa memaksa orang berpikir supaya membuat model seperti ini. It is very individual. So to me, it's sufficient to say realizations of teacher conception, things like that, without the word model. Sangat mendasar sekali. Jadi antara menggunakan model atau tanpa itu. Anda tidak perlu memaksakan harus model karena pada saat pasca kita model. No. We are much more, free to elaborate this sort of stuff. Selagi Anda menemukan sesuatu yang baru di dalam tesis Anda ini, di disertasi Anda ini, dia sudah berlaku disertasi. Okay. There's some new is in that. Jadi tidak harus model. It's not necessarily to be a model.
Oke, sir.
Model menerjemahkan mimpi boleh. Okay. Model menerjemahkan mimpi. Tapi model merealisasikan mimpi, that's very individualistic. So I mean, I don't want to frame you. Saya tidak mau memframe Anda, membingkai Anda supaya memaksa orang menerjemahkan apa yang dipikirannya menjadi sesuatu yang terjadi dalam kegiatan kelas. You are free in that. So that's my comment. Please discuss with your promoter. Is it a model or just realize it?
Okay, sir.
That's my comment.
Thank you.
Only one comment, Winda. Oh.
But very fundamental, right? Thank you, sir. This is really good.
Right. Dr. Masito, are you in a position to make a comment? Dr. Masito Warne, are you in a good position to make a comment? Well, because Ibu is attending a meeting in another side, okay? So I just want to remind. Ibu, are you in a good position, Ibu, Dr. Masito Warne, to give a comment? Okay. If not, I'll give turn to Professor Berlin Sibarani to give comment on the criticisms, suggestions from the reviewers. Professor Berlin Sibarani, could you please take your time? I ask you all then to give your ideas. Oh, it's still on. It's still on, Professor.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Amrin. Ibu Masito, saya saja dulu. Lagi ada kesibukan lain.
Tolong Bapak dulu, Bapak.
Okay, baik. Okay. Baik. Well, I think that's a very good suggestion and comments from all the reviewers, especially related to the limited time of your study. There's only 12 more months. 12 more months. But so you have to finish this within 12 more months. So one prerequisite, one of the way how to finish this as soon as possible, you have to understand every concept you present in your proposals. Okay, because if you don't understand every concept in the proposals, then you will be in hesitation, drag out to the left, drag out to the right, and drag out to the front. It is you who know the concept very well. And for this purpose, I would like to remind you that model is not only a procedure. Because when you talk about conception, realization, model, this nothing has to do with the procedures of teaching. This is the models of how a conception turn into practice into the classroom. So in the definitions of model, there is an interrelationship among the construct that form all this realization. So we are trying to write a map model of this construct based on the data you get from the classroom interactions. So this is what you have to pay attention very closely. You don't need to ask people to do the procedures as what you find out, because this is not a procedure. This is how you look at all the concepts related to the teaching and all the concepts related to the conception. And the next thing is the term conception is very much different from perception. The term conceptions is very much different from perception. If you talk about conception, this is something what you form, what you made through your experience, through your activities from the whole of teaching experience. And then you come to something like a belief, This is not a perception. Okay, so you have to pay attention to these concepts very well. Okay, when you look at the Stern model, no, nothing to do with the procedure there. When you look at the Duncan and Biddle model, nothing to do with the procedure there. When you look at the Gage model, nothing to do with the procedure. This is at least an evidence that model is not procedure. Yes, model may be a procedure, but in this case, it's not a procedure. Okay, when you talk about multi-case analysis, multi-case study, I think you have to pay attention. You read more about the definitions of multi-case in Bogdan and Bigland. Yeah. Case may refer to number of informant, refers to informant or the data source, and also case may be refers to documents and so on. Since you talk about 10 teachers, so this is a multi-case. Since you talk about topic, content, process, this is also a case. When you talk about conception, this is also a case. So multi-case, it means that multi-source of data, multi-object of the word. You have to remember that. Okay, so how could you analyze this? It is not very difficult, I think. We just follow. You follow the Miles and Huberman by making some matrices. So you map how content is conducted with early teachers' experience, how and so on with the older teachers. And the gap between the age should not be made in range. This is a descriptive qualitative research. So we just look at what has happened in terms of content in the early experienced teachers, what has happened in this and so on, and what is going on in their perception. all these data will be put into data matrix. And to see the model, we look something common. What is common among the 10 teachers in terms of content and so on. So this common will be written as a model that we are going to find out in your research. I think that's what you have to pay attention if we would like to finish this in a very short time. 6 months, if you do it, seriously, 6 months you can do it. I think we can do it in 6 months. The first thing that you have to do is try to have the record of all the teachings. Hopefully you have already done the record of the classroom interactions of all the teachers, even though we have not yet finished this seminar proposal, because that will be the data analyzed from different aspects. And also you don't need to get confused with data reduction or data condensation. Well, these terms may make you confused, but this is simply classification and identification. Jadi kalau ada di dalam satu ruangan 40 siswa, itu datanya 40. Tapi begitu kita klasifikasi antara laki-laki dan perempuan, datanya menjadi 2 itu. Menjadi 2, itu yang dimaksud dengan data condensation. Bukan data reduction, karena dalam kata data reduction, seolah tersirat ada sesuatu yang dihilangkan. Ini tidak dihilangkan, tapi di-condense. That's what is meant by data condensation. So, nothing to do with the multi-case and so on. So, itu tinggal, it's very simple. Analisisnya nanti akan menjadi pakai itu ya. Okay, and Stoic. I think you are very good at knowledge of Stoic. I don't have any knowledge of Stoic. But in my mind, Stoic is the result of learning achievement. Itu kan mestinya learning achievement. Ya. Jadi kalau Stoic mereka rendah, kita berprasangka, berpraduga, jangan-jangan pengajarannya rendah. Jangan-jangan konsepnya yang membuat mereka rendah. So, ya sebenarnya kita tidak mengkaji Stoik itu, tapi kita mengkaji Stoiknya rendah, lalu gimana sih sebenarnya konsepnya, di konsepnya kah, atau di implementasinya kah, atau perpindahan dari konsep ke implementasi seperti apa. Kira-kira itu yang mau kita jawab. So, I think you have to master everything you mentioned here, supaya nanti bisa cepat selesai. Oke, saya kira itu ya. Saya kira itu. Oke, saya kira itu saja. Well, I think that's all, Pak Prof. Amrin.
Well, Dr. Masito, are you in a good condition to give a comment? If you don't have a good situation to give a comment, that's all right. So we postpone the.
Baik, kalau diploma Pak, after this publication, for this time I cannot give any suggestion, but I'll give it to